Hey everyone, today we're going to work on a flea market find. It's an old Craftsman sander, I guess maybe from the 50s, which I got for $5. The guy made no claim that it ran, and the electrical cord is pretty weak, so I haven't tried that out. That's going to be one of the first things I do, but we're going to bring it back to life for no other reason than I got it for $5. It's pretty cool looking, and we're going to see what we can do with it. So let's get busy. Right, Muggsy? Oh, we're working in the garage today, Muggsy, because it's really hot out. All right, so here's the unit. Someone may be able to tell me approximately how old this is. It's kind of funny. It's got old sandpaper on it. So what I know about it is, from what I can see, someone's taken it apart before. It's missing 2 screws. I'm going to take this guy out, which is stripped, and hopefully from there I'll be able to determine what type of screws go in here. I don't know much else about this other than this. Looks like a handle. These 2 holes there. So a handle would mount to the side. I don't think, yeah, some of these had a handle that mounted to the front. Oh, it looks, yeah. So this, you could mount a handle to either side. I'm gonna see what size that is. It honestly looks very close to camera tripod size. What's holding this on? If it is, I may have something I can use as a handle. I'm not sure what this screw here did. Maybe someone watching knows. This switch feels like it's in pretty good shape. The thing's heavy, very heavy, which is why probably no one would ever use this thing now. But I think we can polish this up. I think we can fix the black in here. And I think we can probably, if this thing comes apart with this screw, put a new power cord on it. So let's get busy. All right, so that screw, I get a close up right here. It's not in the best of shape. But let's get a screwdriver and see. All right, Muggsy? I'm gonna get a screwdriver. You're gonna stay close today? All right, I'm gonna try this stubby Phillips first. Right, Muggs? Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, well, I did. It is moving. That's good, because there was virtually nothing to grab on that screw. Whew. Well, that's good. All right. I think it's likely I'm going to have some screws that I can use to replace that. Yeah, all right, so it has been rewired before. Interesting. This is, oh, it is a 3-prong cord. Huh. All right, well, I'm sure I have a 3-prong cord I can use to rewire this guy. Give you a close-up. I don't think originally this was a what's it say on that cord? Geez, this is the original cord. It says Craftsman on it. So it wasn't rewired. Huh. Look at that. Well, I don't have an original Craftsman cord. That makes me think this thing is not as old as I thought it was. Look at the old sand, this dust inside. I'll have to clean all that out. Let me get a replacement cord, and let's see if we can get this thing kicked on. Looks pretty easy to do it. All right, I found an old computer cord. This is a 3-prong. Just cut the end off. I gotta cut this insulation open to expose the wires. Okay, we got enough there. Let's take this off. All right, so we need a crimp for this guy here. It's also, this screw is a Phillips as well, which dates this thing to newer than what I was thinking. Of course, if I do all of this and then this thing doesn't work, I'll be somewhat disappointed. I guess it's the risk you take. I'm just trimming off the excess there. All right, that's our green. See if we can make a point to remember where these are. Oh, it's pretty easy. It's, well, no, it's not. What color is this wire? It's so dusty in here, I can't tell. That wire is black. So it is. It's black to black, white to white. All right. All right, let's get this strain relief off. I think it'll come off. Yep. And hopefully, oh, well, I guess I should have probably done that after. Well, that okay, that worked pretty well. Strain relief goes there. Let's put this guy back together. Got our ground wire back on. Now I'm going to lower this camera. Get a better angle maybe on what I'm doing. I apologize. It's very tough because I can't put the camera usually directly in front of me, so you can see, so quite often my hands do get in the way. It's black wire. So again, I'm just doing black to black. And white to white. And you don't want to just twist one of these around the other one. You want to see what I'm doing. I'm twisting both of them. Okay, if you twist one around the other one, very likely it's going to let go. I'm just going to recycle these wire nuts. They seem to be doing the job fine. And then the strain relief goes right like that, right? Did I put this thing on backwards? No. Goes right inside, in there. Okay. And it goes down. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to take this, I'll be back. I'm going to go through my hardware collection and see if I've got any of these machine screws or metal screws that are this size and are pan head. I'll be back. Okay, I found screws. I found the right size in a pan head, but it's too long. But at least I have a good sample. Here's the original. You can see quite a difference in size there. I did find non-pan head and flatheads, and I'm going to try one of these. If these fit, I actually have enough, and they appear to fit. So I think I have enough of these. They're a little bit longer, but I think they'll still work. Let me get a flathead. It's ironic that I'm putting flatheads in here, but I think these will work just fine until I maybe get to the hardware store. And just see how we recess. I mean, they're already recessed. I'm not 100% sure that flathead, the Phillips pan head was correct. These seem to fit nicely. I may not change these. I think they're going to look fine. You gripping right? Yep. All right, let's look at this hole again. I want to make sure these actually are for pan heads. Yep, yeah, they are. Pan head is the correct. So I'll have to get some pan head screws. But for now, these will work. And the funny thing is they actually look, to me, more period correct than what was in there. All right, we're together, right? Yeah. All screws in. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's some adjustment. It's got some big screws in here. All right, so let's try our new cord. Make sure we are off. Make sure this power strip is off over here. And all right. Power strip on. You know, this whole thing is metal. I hate to just grab it. I guess this shows confidence in my electrical work. I'm just gonna do that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna shut the power strip off. I'm gonna turn this on. And, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Whoa, it works. All right, we're good. Wow, it works. It's fast. All right, so now I feel confident in actually touching it. Power strip on. Oof, that makes a lot of noise. Look at the dust coming out of it. I should have vacuumed in there before I put it back together. All right, so let's take this stuff off. This has been on here for eons. I know I've got some of this. Let's see what they had on here. Made in USA sandpaper. Made in Rockland? Somewhere. Can't tell. But I bet you can't get made in USA sandpaper anymore. This pad's in actually great shape. So let's unplug it. And I think a good trick I can show you is how to repaint this black in here. But more important than that, or not more important, but a better step to do now is to polish it first, because I don't want to risk taking the black off these logos. So let's polish it. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get some steel wool, some gloves, and some polish, and we'll see how well this thing cleans up just with polish. It may require more. It may require my old water and steel wool trick, which works great, but I hate to use that on an old electrical appliance. I'll be right back. All right, on the jukebox metal, I used Brasso, but here's another thing I have of 20-year-old metal polish. This says aluminum on it. This one doesn't, actually. Not that I expect this to be any better, but it hasn't expired yet because it's still liquid. Whoa. So let's see what it does. Well, it certainly doesn't look like it's brand new. It's taking a lot off. You see how it's immediately turning black there? It's taking a lot of oxidation off. Well, I don't know how shiny these actually were when you bought them. I have a distinct belief that if I were to polish this enough, it would turn into a mirror finish. Let me get a rag. I'm thankfully working out of the sun today, but by no means does that mean it's cool in here. I should be running a fan, but I'll put a lot of noise on the camera. All right. Well, actually, that looks pretty good for one little spot. So here's your before and after. It's not done, but it's good. So let's continue. I don't know how much of this you actually want to see, but I'll give you a few more minutes. In fact, let's work on this part here, because this is bad. Interesting. The Craftsman, the black on this side in the letters doesn't appear to be as bad. But maybe I don't even need to repaint that. If I'm careful with the steel wool, I may not need to do that. And I'm all for avoiding unnecessary work. And this is just my first coat through. This type of thing usually gets a lot shinier with each coat. I'll probably go through a couple of balls of steel wool. All right, let's wipe that down. See what we got. Yeah, that Craftsman isn't bad in there. I may not bother repainting it. I was going to show you how to do that because it's a useful skill for repainting old car emblems and things like that. All right, so here's your before. Pretty grimy looking. And here's after. And that's one coat. So I'm going to pause the camera here. I'm going to do one coat on the whole machine. I will be running my fans while I do this. And once I get the first coat done, we'll see how good these look on both sides. Because that's good enough that I would not bother repainting. But we'll see. If I have to paint one side, I'll paint both. All right, I'll be back. All right, it's about 20 minutes later. I apologize if you can hear the fan noise. I've got a couple fans on because it is 92 degrees out, and this garage is, of course, not air conditioned. But so here you see the first coat of polish. Now, when it comes to metal, especially aluminum, nickel, brass, how nice it comes out depends on how nice you want it to come out. I mean, I can take this obviously a lot further by putting a second, third coat until literally I could get this to be a mirror finish. Now it looks good now. Interestingly, as I cleaned the badge off in the back, I saw that this is a sander polisher. See if I can get this to zoom right in on that. Model 10.7820. So I'll be able to look up when this thing was actually made. But so yeah, I think I will do a second coat, and I may use the Brasso for the second coat. This stuff is apparently it's more aggressive, which is fine. I'm going to try the Brasso for coat number 2. And I noticed this side the emblem is nice. This side it's not so nice. So because I'm a glutton for punishment, I think I may actually show you how to repaint these things and get them to look like new. It's an easy trick if you're lucky. All right, let me get to coat number 2, and I think that'll be it for polishing. One more little addendum with this. I'm not going to use steel wool. I'm actually going to use an old terry cloth polishing pad. This is my second coat, so I don't feel I'm going to need to rub it with steel wool anymore. I mean, it would make me go a little faster, but it won't give me quite the same shine. So I'll be back. So as I was polishing, I noticed the switch seemed a little crooked. I decided to take it apart anyway, and then I noticed that blue crimp was a little loose, so I slid it off, and I'm going to use some liquid electrical tape to hold it back in place. And once that dries, it'll be fully insulated. All right, let me put it back together. The switch, though, interestingly enough, it's just crooked. It has nothing to do with the way I put it back together because it doesn't move. It's pretty tight. So it's just, over time, it's just been twisted or bent a little bit. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I've got the switch. It's a lot straighter, a lot more even. I got to polish inside the off. I did not do that. But this is 2 coats. I used first coat Knox On with steel wool, second coat Brasso with a terry cloth polishing pad. Now, I could just keep going, If I did 4 or 5 coats, this thing would look like a mirror, and it would look awesome. But I plan on using this, and so, you know, in spite of how old it is, it's still a useful tool, and I do not have a pad sander like this. So I guess the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these and show you how to do that, how to get the black back and still see the letters. Now this one looks pretty good. It's not bad. It just looks like an old tool. This one looks considerably worse. There's very little black paint left. So to do this, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need acetone, because I got to clear all the polish and grime out of here. You're going to need black paint. You're going to need painter's tape, and you're going to need some clean steel wool. And that's it. It's kind of a fine art, but once you know it, you can do car emblems, all sorts of things. It's actually an old, if you ever built model cars when you were a kid, it's kind of a trick to how you used to make the chrome grills and the wheels and stuff. Not just be one massive chrome and make it look like it had some depth. So let's get to it. All right, I've got gloves on and a rag. I am wearing gloves even though I'm doing very little. My skin would be very lightly exposed to this. I'm still using gloves because your skin is actually a living organ, and I've abused mine enough through the years that I don't want to get anything else absorbed into it that I can avoid. All right. I think we got pretty much everything out, hopefully. Took some paint off probably with it, but that's okay. All right, next up, we're gonna tape it up. Luckily, this is square. Makes it very easy to tape. I'm going to end up taping up the entire sander, or at least masking off the entire sander, because I will be using spray paint. I don't want to get overspray all over everything. But the fine ends of it are right here. I'm not worried about it being a little rounded off there. That'll be pretty easy to fix. Those of you unfamiliar with my big book of masking paper, this is it. It's just an old how-to guide from Microsoft Office, and it gives me perfect little sheets of masking paper. And I have been using it for years because it's a huge book, all while learning fascinating Microsoft Office skills. The learning the skills part is, of course, an exaggeration because I'm never actually reading it. I'm simply doing this with it. Let's just going to use Krylon Max Black. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to set something up. It's stopped raining for a bit, so I'll be out. I'll be right back. All right. I'm sure right now you're thinking, but you're just going to paint everything black. That's true. Exactly what I'm going to do. With what little is left in this can. All right. Now let's take on side 2, which this I have to paint straight on so as not to wreck the paint on the other side. You don't really care if it runs at all. It's not really that type of paint job. From the looks of things, my acetone did not do a great job. But that's okay. Let's look at the other side. If we can see where the paint is. The acetone did a better job than this side. Now, if it doesn't rain, we'll just let that dry. for a bit, and that's it. That's all the painting we had to do. Nothing big. We used Krylon Max, which gives actually a great gloss. All right, I'll be back for the next step. Final step, actually. All right, I think we gave it enough time to dry. Let's bring it in. Take the masking tape off. Looks good. It's not fully dry yet, but it's dry enough to demask it. Let's see. Yeah, paint's still sticky. Geez, almost zero overspray. Just this little tiny spot there. It's good. Great. I got the masking tape off. Very little overspray at all. Little tiny bits in the corner. It's mostly dry. It's really only been about a half an hour. And because it's so hot and humid out, you know, that kind of changes things a little bit. You know, I got one other thing I can do. So I was thinking about this while I took a break, and I realized this, I think, is the same size as the tripod. So I've got some old camera kits, and I'll be right back. All right, I found it. So what I've got here is, well, the knob is the screw part is very short. What this essentially is this is for holding a camera like that, instead of having a tripod. Interestingly, it's got another extension for a tripod on that, but it's a handle. And so I was thinking, well, there you go. So now it's a little long, probably should be, you know, 2 inches shorter, but there you go. I got a handle. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It is a little long though. I think I may have another one. I don't know if it's all black though. I wonder if it's longer. But these used to come in camera kits. Now I think they just sell them separately. Well, I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna clean up this switch a little bit because I didn't polish in there. And then we'll pick it up tomorrow, and I'll do the rest of the experiment on the Craftsman, and then we'll basically be done. Okay, because I am generally impatient, I gave it a few more hours to dry, so you just take this and just very gently, don't apply any pressure, just run it over it. See how the letters are starting to come out? But the black in the background is staying. Be nice if I could just do a quick speed up the footage and show you it happen. Well, the tea is pretty much almost done. And again, I'm not putting any pressure on it. I'm just letting the steel wool run over it. I'm going to reverse it a little bit. Needing a new piece. This piece is very small for this purpose. That's a better piece, a larger piece here. Probably do a slightly better job. Now, these letters are actually quite far apart. In most car emblems, they're significantly closer together, and it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to be quite as careful. But as you can see, it's working like a charm. Just having trouble with this N over here. It just doesn't seem to want to take anything off of it. Alright, so when we're at this point, you may be able to just put your finger on it and just get the tips of the letter itself. Anywhere else? All right, look at that. So we've gone from that, all black, and just with a little steel wool. Look at that. How cool is that? That looks great, huh? A little bit on the S there still. Great. I'll just fine tune that and I'll move to the other side. All right, side two. Make sure you can see it. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So hopefully if I hold it about right there, you'll be able to see again. And just get yourself a wad and just, I am not applying pressure, just lightly rubbing it. And it takes a few minutes, but you can see in real time the letters start coming out. Okay, I think we pretty much got it, except a little bit on the M, a little bit on that N, a little bit on that A, a little bit on the F. Here we go. Pretty cool, huh? It's a neat trick. Old school automotive trick. Now, of course, all the emblems are plastic, but back in the day, the emblems on the cars were metal, sometimes chromed, sometimes plated, and black. All right. All right, so I got some replacement sandpaper here. All I'm going to do to measure it, I'm just going to lay this piece right on it and go, that looks like that's the right length. Right there. Okay. So, lift that up. Did I do it long enough? Yes, I did. Lift that up and around. Let me go a little tighter than that. All right, look at that. Now let's put our new handle on it. We are good as new. Almost. All right, here it is in daylight. There's the logo. The new handle, the new cord. It runs, got some fresh sandpaper on it. So that's it. So I took a $5 flea market find, added a handle that I already had, rewired it, polished it up, repainted the Craftsman sign, and I've got a great looking retro functioning sander. All right. So hey, if you see something like this at a yard sale, an estate sale, a flea market, or even if you have one, or your grandfather or your father has one laying around and you're worried about it, it's pretty easy to rewire them, pretty easy to take them apart, and pretty easy to polish them up. So hey, don't be intimidated. Just go out, get busy. Take care.